Well, a little bit of a different background today. Got Colby with me. He's got the day off. We gotta take him, torture him along the way. Running out to my favorite junkyard today that has the old cars, and gonna see if they still have the trunk lid that I was aiming to buy. It's pretty messed up, but at least it's a trunk lid. And then look over the other fleet lines, see if there's any better rear fenders and anything else I can use real quick for this build that I need right now. So yeah, so we're just on the road right now. It's almost a 2-hour ride, so we're gonna shoot out there, see what we can get. Doing it today because Colby's got the day off, so I got a partner in crime today, and we're supposed to get more rain also. So go out there, I'll get this stuff, and then get right back to the house, and I'll probably start on the rear axle and all the important stuff. Make sure this thing's actually going to run, drive, do a burnout, be safe, and then at that point, then I'll get into some of the body work. But anyway, I'll check in once we're at the junkyard and try and do some footage there. Probably won't be a ton, but make it somewhat interesting. All right. So the trunk lid, it's all cut open. Bottom's running off. Caved in. Rolled it up into there. But it's better than what I got. Well, we made it out here. Here's the Oldsmobile one. And luckily I brought Colby with me. He's got a camera on my car in his garage. We can look at that. And it looks like this trunk lid is longer than mine, like substantially longer. So I'm probably gonna hold off on this, but I think there's a 4-door one of these way down, and maybe that trunk lid's the same. I'm not sure, but we're here. We made it here. Now let's see if we can make it out of here with some stuff that we need. Still hoping to come back for this one of these days. International travel all. Maybe. We'll see. Oh, let's give you guys a little pan around real quick. Some of the other stuff. Got like a 4-door Hudson out there. This is the 2-door Oldsmobile that we were just looking at. El Camino. Not even sure what this is. Oh, Polara. But there's old stuff all throughout this place. It's huge. It goes way over, way out back. Yep.
Right here.
Yep. Yeah, the ticks are out. Yeah, so ticks are always out at the junkyards here. But here's some more of the older cars. There's some more over this way. And whatnot. He's got stuff 20s, 30s, 70s, 80s. Oh, mini truck, whatnot. He's got a lot of cool stuff out here. This is just part of it. Okay, so walking through and looking at this one, saying, is this a hearse or something like that? And Colby's like, hey, look, the spare tire goes behind the driver's seat. What is this thing? Check it out. Decent mount for the spare tire in there. Like a horseshoe symbol there, some striping on it, no windows. I don't know if the chassis is any type of giveaway. Let's see if we can get around the back. There we go. 2-door Suburban. Anybody recognize the back of this thing? Shame the back door's not here. But yeah, I bet you this was some sort of hearse. It's got all the runners in the floor and stuff. Check this out. We got a little probably dirt track racer here. A roll cage in it. Got 56 on the door. Look at that front ramming bar. Not many yards you just walk around nowadays, and 57 Chevy hoods and stuff like that laying around. But very cool. Getting closer to where I'm going. There's another one. If I ever want to put the Sergeant stripes back on it, a lot of them are here, but very poor shape. So I haven't made it around the other side, but I'm thinking this is probably a Chevelle. The motor's flipped out of it. Somebody took the pan off and whatnot, but check this out. Got some old Kragers on it. Look at it. It must have been sagging, and they bolted in some wood and wedged some wood into the springs, along with air shocks. See the airline? Those are air shocks. This thing must have been shackled up crazy. It is a two-door, so this thing was probably pretty cool back in the day. Just another quick pan around. Look at the pins on that thing. I'm not covering everything. I'm just trying to take a couple of videos for you guys. Trying to keep motivated and get through here. But definitely a lot of stuff still here. Alright. Trying to stay focused, but sometimes you just have to stop and take a video of something. Look at this saw blade on it. You got a handle there. Handle there. I'm guessing that's the throttle. And the motor even pivots on the shaft. And it's called the Brush King. Check that thing out. That thing's serious business. Still got a two-door Impala here. Is that 64, 63? I know what car used to be here where these transmissions were. These were inside the car. My guess is when the car got lifted up, they fell right through the floor. Recognize it where this, what car that was? More random stuff. And this one is the longest two-door Suburban I've ever seen in my life. Look at the length of that quarter panel. So walking around this yard, and we got this aluminum like Grumman van here, and it had tons of lettering on it. It's all gone. The only thing that remains is beer. Does that mean beer will outlast anything? It might. Some people will think so. We're going through looking for fenders and everything, and there's a couple of side snips for like the side of a pickup truck. We got somebody's bit of custom background with the grippies in it, and two old school like footprint gas pedals. Guarantee you that's what they are. See the side mounts right there in there? That's funny. Found a random van with stuff in it. Check this out. These are the old, I think they're Super Tricks with an add-on wire spoke in the front of it. And then there's another one over there, way back. And then here's the other two matching spokes. Pretty cool. Then we got one there back there, the Super 60 traction grip. Cool stuff. Love these places. Alright, so we did a bunch of picture-to-picture comparison. And this four-door Oldsmobile looks similar to the trunk style of my two-door Chevy Aero sedan fastback. So we're taking the gamble on this thing at 150 bucks, see if it might even remotely fit. See what happens. But we got it off and it looks reasonable. There she is. Thank you, donor. Alright, we got our goods. We're heading out. Let's do a little pan around as we're going. This is the roadway in, so there's some cool stuff around. Got a little Jeep back there. Whatnot. But this Mack truck over here is something special right here. That thing I dig.
extra fuel tanks on.
Well, now we'll start the 2-hour ride back, stop, grab some food on the way, and then get some work done. Alright, well, we got our 4-door Oldsmobile trunk lid here. Let's see if it fits the 2-door fastback Chevy that's in the garage. Bear with me. Tight squeeze in here. Trip and take out Kobe's motorcycle. Alright, moment of truth. Let's see. She's a little bit off. Yeah, I knew it was a gamble, but hey, I'd rather race with this gap than no trunk at all. Alright, shut it off. Well, that was a little bit of a not so victory. It's something to plug the hole. You can see the gaps are all way off. Thing's super crooked, not lined up at all. At least something where the trunk's not missing. Pretty sure that the other one was going to be substantially too long, which maybe that might have been a better bet because I could have cut it and cut a section out of it and shortened it rather than try and extend something. And this one here needs to be extended like down the sides, up the top, down the bottom, and everything else. But the other one on the 2-door, the whole bottom of it was rotted, caved in, and somebody cut out around where the handle goes. So it was pretty mangled. Anyway, that would have needed a ton of work. This one, like I said, at least it's something to fill the hole for right now. It looks a little worse from behind because there's a big gap under the bottom of it. Is what it is for right now. At least it's something. I can strap this thing in and go racing with it. It's fine. So I'm gonna get back to working on it. The only bummer is it's almost 4:30, and that was the whole day wasted between 2 hours out, 2 hours back, walking the whole yard, getting through all the brush, getting to the cars, searching them, making a list, go back out, talk to him, go back out with the tools, get the parts off, battle the rust and all that stuff, and then come back, stop for food on the way. And now it's 4:30. So essentially I lost a whole day to get a trunk lid that doesn't fit. And I did get the hood striker for the hood latch. So at least the hood can safely latch now. So that's a positive. I could have made something for that, but you gotta look for the positives. This ain't right, but it'll work for now for what I need. So that's a positive. Hood latch, that's a positive. And whatnot. And while we were on the ride back, Colby was calling around a couple of places and found steel that I want to use for the rocker panel, which is right up the street from the house, so I can go pick that up tomorrow. So a couple of positives. Got to spend some time with Colby and whatnot. It was just a long, boring drive. So I'm gonna get back to work. Enough babbling. I hope you guys enjoyed some of the pictures and all that stuff and videos from the junkyard. That wasn't even a tenth of the yard that I was showing. The place is huge. But anyway, let's get some time lapse going, clean up a mess, get a rear end ready, and start getting this thing ready. Oh, just pushed out, turned around, and all that, and a little bit of a workout, but that's okay. And if you look, you can see the driveway slopes down pretty good, and then it also slopes down this way. So like the driveway tapers off that way pretty hard. So that's a battle. But you know, some people may say it would be nice if I had some help. I got my brother right there. He's even holding an emergency header as a wheel shock, wanting to help. He wants to help. I'm just desperate to try and do this by myself. So I have multiple friends, and Colby, like every Monday he's here, and he's just like hanging out, like waiting for me to say, give me a hand, and just trying to do it myself. Not being stubborn, just see if I can. So anyway, I'm gonna start working on the rear end now. So my buddy gave me this rear end. He was having it built for a G-body, Oldsmobile Cutlass that he's building. And then he decided to go for a 9-inch. And he had somebody put the axle truss in. And then he started putting on the plates and stuff like that. So the stuff he was putting on, he just had a little flux core welder. Not really a welder. First time using that like welder he was using, and he was just getting it tacked in place to bring it back to them to have them fully weld it. But they had welded the bridge, and so the bridge is in my way, so I got to cut that right off. But they did an awesome job. They thoroughly welded this thing all the way around all 4 corners. But I think they tacked the whole thing before finish welding it, and this is a lot of welds all around this, which maybe they should have welded this first and then added the top piece last, because as I cut it free, look at how far it sprung over from the other side. So that was already pre-tensioned, pulling the axle tubes up and into themselves. But it is what it is. But so I don't have the time to sit here and grind and remove all these. So I just cut this off, and those ugly pieces are going to be sitting there. But look at that. That's like 1/4-inch plate all the way around. So that's some heavy duty stuff. But the blessing is for how much work those are going to be. That's how the rest of these are. Those bottom ones might be a little bit better. Oh, and I keep cleaning these things up, get these knocked down, get the seals in it, the axles in it, get the diff cover off, make sure there's no surprises, and get the diff cover sealed, and probably build the brakes. Maybe I'll build the brakes once it's in so it's lighter, but then I'll get that one out of there and start wrestling this thing in. You may be asking yourself, why am I messing around with a rake while I'm using the messing around with the rear end? Well, inside the axle tube, you know, it's a round tube, obviously. It was all old baked on gear oil, and I wanted to scrape it out. And if you use a pry bar, it's just gonna hit on two peaks, and you can't really scrape it too well. So I took a washer, drilled a hole in the end, screwed on a washer, so I had a rounded surface similar to the pipe that would fit through the bearing and everything, and then come in and keep scraping it out to the outside edge and then scoop it out, and worked out pretty good. Yeah, so that's all the cake that came out of it, plus some folded up in some of these. That's why you see the rake moving around, son. I wasn't about to cut the handle off for this. I'll just clean up the end now, and the rake will be fine. No rakes were harmed in the cleaning of this axle tube. So I've seen people fuss with this in the past, where they're doing an axle swap and the U-bolts ain't the right size, and like this rear end, it necks down right here at the end. See, it's narrower out here and it's thicker in there. So these ones won't fit where they need to go. And I've seen people stop projects and go running to get them. And realistically, these are just bent into a U shape. They just have to cradle the top. So if you're too thin, this is how you do it. If you're too thick, just kind of block them apart in the middle and hammer them here, and they'll close up. Make sure they close up reasonably rounded, and you can get them to size down a little for the project you're doing. But this one here, it's wider, so I'm just gonna do this. Let's see, right on camera. There it is. So I'm just going to use this as a stabilizer, and I'm just going to spread it open some. And if you look, it's spread open a bunch. I might have got a little too aggressive with that one. And then you put it on, and it cradles the top nicely. So then the trick is to get these to squeeze back in. You could wrap a short ratchet strap around to itself and ratchet strap it in and kind of tap the edges. But if you got a big enough set of channel locks, these are like just borderline big enough. Like I said, I might have got a little too aggressive with these. And just keep it caged on the axle. just make sure you're not grabbing it on any of the threads that you're going to be using. That's a key ingredient, I guess. But yeah, so now if you look, I got it pretty much to where it wants to be, and that'll flex right to where it wants to be. And it'll cradle this top nice. It cradles that top nice. And the reason why you got to close it down smaller is you got to get back through the original plate down on the bottom. So pretty simple to make these work. Like I said, you can do it both ways if you got to size one down or size one up. You can't go super drastic, but this is probably a 1/2 inch difference. I think it's a 2.5 inch tube to a 3 inch tube. So just a little trick. Well, it's 10 o'clock. Time to have some dinner. There's my poor fitting trunk lid. It's something. But rear end is sitting in it. So it's all sitting in there clamped. The spring perches ain't welded in. I still got a set pinion angle, and I got to shift the rear end to the right like 1/4 of an inch. And then I can just weld those perches, and all the mounting is done. So that's good. That's definitely satisfying. Can I get some light under there? There we go. But yeah, brakes are all assembled except for no hoses or lines or anything like that back here yet. You see the drive shaft hanging. I got the drive shaft measured. That spare drive shaft there my buddy Ken just gave me, I got to shorten it 1 1/4 inches tomorrow. So yeah, it's just 1 1/4 inches too long. But yeah, so wheels are fitting just about where I need them to. You know, like I said, I'm gonna go that way about 1/4 of an inch, and then this fender has to kind of come together and come out a little, and it should be about where I need it to, because from tire to wheel well, that's pretty much where the rear end's gonna hit the frame anyway. So we can't go any further at the moment. So anyway, hopefully this video was entertaining enough. Hopefully at least the junkyard stuff was cool and exciting for some of you guys and girls. And yeah, I'll check in later. You guys have a good night.